This episode of the Nerd Corporation contains spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
What's going on, y'all? This is Mega Ran, teacher, rapper, hero, Writers Guild affiliate, and new Guinness World Record holder. Just wanted to let you know you're listening to the Nerd Corporation. Turn it up. Let's go.
Welcome to the Nerd Corporation.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerd Corporation. This is our second episode of the week. Lucky you.
Wrestle-fucking-mania.
For those of you that are like, why would you do a two-part episode on wrestling? It is a 7-hour event. We could barely get everything about the Arrowverse into an hour, because there were plenty more talking points there. We just decided to not rag on Stephen Amell all fucking day. Once again, fuck you, Stephen Amell.
Fuck you. No, fuck you, Oliver Queen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We loved you, Stephen Amell. Sorry, formal apology. Fuck you, Oliver Queen. So yeah, Wrestlemania, huge 7-hour fucking deal. Especially this one. This is probably one of the most stacked cards ever for Wrestlemania.
It really was.
There was tons of fucking potential here for all of the above. Even the pre-show had a lot of fucking potential. That's why we gave everything leading up to WrestleMania its own episode. Like I said, no way in hell we could talk about all of this in 1 hour.
Absolutely not.
So you got 2 episodes this week, Corporation. Count your blessings. Even if you don't like wrestling, we hope that we're entertaining enough that you would like to listen to us talk about it. Real quick, we'll discuss the card. For those of you that don't know anything about wrestling and you want to kind of peep in on it, go check out our boys over at Learning the Ropes podcast, Scott and Brian. Thank you guys very much for the intro on the first episode. And a huge shout out to our homeboy, the Guinness Book of World Records holding
Mega Ran.
Mega Ran. Go check him out. Fucking amazing nerd rapper who is a huge wrestling mark.
He really is.
And we were very appreciative of him for giving us that intro this episode. The card for this amazing event was a huge build-up. For those that don't know, WrestleMania is kind of like the season finale of wrestling. It takes an entire year of story build-up to get to the event that we're at, and it's awesome. So
it is the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Yeah, I absolutely all in for this shit. Our first match of the night was the triple threat match, which was Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and The Miz, correct?
Absolutely. Who did you call for that?
Oh my god. Actually, you know what? I called The Miz on that one. I know I did. And I hate The Miz.
I also called The Miz.
Yeah, I wanted to see him hold the IC title to get that record to be the longest holding Intercontinental Championship.
And that's what I thought they were going to do. I was like, he's going to get that close to the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, and they're not going to give it to him? No way. I called The Miz as well. The match was amazing.
Let's talk about those entrances. That's one thing I love about WrestleMania. They usually beef up the entrances.
Absolutely.
Seth Rollins came out as, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, Seth Rollins came out as a White Walker, blue contacts and all.
It was crazy, and the blue contacts, they like lit up.
They popped, yeah. That was a great entrance. Finn Balor came out to his usual operatic, weird entrance. I'm not a huge mark for Balor at all.
I love his entrance. I'm not a mark for him, but I love his entrance.
I like the demon Finn Balor more than I like regular leather coat popping his collar Finn Balor.
I was so mad at him for a little while because he didn't even have a collar to pop. And I don't know why.
He would fake it.
Right, and he would fake it. He'd just pull his jacket out. And I'm just like, what are you fucking pulling out? You don't even have a collar.
Yeah, not a fan of collar popping Finn Balor. Real quick, we tried to cover as many references and terms as we could in the last episode, but we didn't cover the one that we used the most, and that's mark. Typically, back in the day, mark was almost a way of insulting a fan by saying they're marks, they fall for it, they're gullible.
Yes.
They fall for all of the storylines and they believe it's all real and so on and so forth. Nowadays, the term doesn't necessarily mean that. I think the term they use now is smark, which is smart mark, meaning it's fake, but you still fall in line. And I just like the term mark. Like, I don't give a fuck. You can call me a mark. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either.
But I'm a huge mark for Seth Rollins. And it's funny because I fucking hated Seth Rollins when he was with the corporation. Was not a fan at all. Didn't like the blonde streak in the hair, and it just wasn't for me. I wasn't down. I didn't even see him being a good worker.
The corporation, referring to Vince McMahon's faction.
Not our corporation, which I would hope that Seth Rollins is a part of.
Yes.
Please, Seth Rollins, be a part of our corporation.
But speaking of Seth Rollins, I mean, the match was crazy. One of my favorite moments from that match was The Miz had a figure 4 on Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins jumps out with a frog splash on top of The Miz, breaking the figure 4.
And that was he had such an amazing extension on that frog splash.
I agree.
Like, his chest was puffing out when he hit fucking Finn Balor. And one thing I want to say too, although wrestling is scripted, this shit is fucking real. Let's see you do a belly flop onto a dude's body from already they're standing like 4.5 feet up already. Then they jump up in the air and then do a belly flop onto a dude.
Yeah, you're going up at least 10 feet.
Yeah. And to take that impact on your body is not fucking easy. So to do that fucking frog splash, that hold alone, like, I just feel that the figure 4 leg lock is a bitch.
Oh yeah, the figure 4. I've been given the figure 4 leg lock, and
I've gotten my brother in the figure 4 leg lock.
It is not fun at all.
Unfortunately, I have given and not received the figure 4. I guess fortunately, not unfortunately. But yeah, man. I thought it was a great match, and I almost feel like The Miz was taking a stab at Charlotte and her father, the legendary Ric Flair, with that. Because earlier this last week, they had the finals of the Mixed Match Challenge, and Charlotte got The Miz in a figure 8, which the figure 4 is like when they twisted their legs up.
The figure 4 is a crossed leg lock, and the figure 8 is a modified version of that crossed leg lock, where a competitor will bridge their back, adding more pressure to the lock.
And it's no fun. I've never been in the figure 4, but I've had that pressure applied to my knee through other holds, and it's no fun.
It's not fun at all. So, I mean, at the end of it all, I called The Miz, but it was Seth Rollins who took the Intercontinental Championship.
Great way to open WrestleMania. I wasn't expecting it because I thought they would give it to The Miz. I think that's kind of the appeal of wrestling too, is if you watch the stories throughout the year, you feel like you have an idea of where the match is going to go.
Yeah, like you have a grasp of what's going to happen.
Yeah, huge frame of reference, and if you're creative enough, you'll call it.
Right. Seth Rollins winning this now makes him a Grand Slam champion. What a Grand Slam champion is someone who has held the big title, either the Universal or the WWE.
The heavyweight title.
Right. The heavyweight title, the tag title, the Intercontinental title, and the U.S. title.
Yeah.
All 4 of those titles have to be held had to have been held in order for you to be considered a Grand Slam champion.
And not many people have that distinction to say that they're Grand Slam winners. I think the other 2 members of the Shield, at least one of them.
No, both members. Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns are both Grand Slam champions. I looked it up here this morning.
A couple people who are actual Grand Slam champions, like I said, not many people have achieved this rank. Kurt Angle,
Eddie Guerrero and Rob Van Dam,
Shawn Michaels, Triple H, actually, which doesn't surprise me as a Grand Slam winner.
Kane, Booker T,
Chris Jericho. I'm a huge mark for Chris Jericho.
I'm also a giant mark for Chris Jericho.
I've been ever since WCW though. I didn't know that Jeff Hardy was a Grand Slam winner.
He is. So is JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield.
Fucking hate that guy.
I love him so
Loved
much.
him in the APA, but I don't like
such a mark.
Any other version of
such a mark for
not
corporate.
at all. Never
Bradshaw.
touched the fucking shit.
I think Big Show
Big Show, yeah, Big Show's one of the... So, I mean, I know we named a lot of people there, but trust me, in the grand scheme of those of superstars, that's not a lot of fucking people.
It's like 10, 12 people out of decades of rosters.
Yeah, probably thousands, at least 1,000 wrestlers.
Right.
Over since, 1979 all the way up to current.
Right.
Because there are wrestlers doesn't mean that there isn't wrestlers you don't know on the roster.
Right.
I think R-Truth being one of those wrestlers he's been around for 20 going on 30 years.
Yep, and before he was R-Truth, he was K-Quick.
Yeah, and so probably the king of the jobbers there, jobber being a wrestler that they just throw in to lose.
But congratulations, Seth.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great match. Great way to start off WrestleMania with that surprise. I was not ready for that shit. The next match is one that I thought they kind of would have held on to towards the end of it, and that was for the SmackDown Women's title between Charlotte Flair and Asuka.
Yes, I also thought that they should have waited for this match, but I'm glad that we got it when we did. Some great highlights from that match. Asuka was on the floor getting set up for a moonsault. And Charlotte Flair goes up to the top rope, does the moonsault, but in midair, Asuka shifts, stands up, and holds her in the Asuka lock.
Oh, dude, so good. They were really complimenting each other the entire match.
They really were. The Spanish fly off the top rope.
That was amazing.
For those of you that don't know what a Spanish fly is when you hold someone, you grab someone in almost a rock bottom type maneuver, but you backflip. So you'll backflip and they'll front flip and you'll slam them into the ground. Charlotte and Asuka did that off the top rope.
Very acrobatic match.
Very, very acrobatic match.
They were just countering left and right every single time. And then there was that spear, a very Goldberg-esque spear.
It was just
fucking brutal.
It was straight.
Yeah, right into the heart of Asuka. I think the perfect description of this match was the way Asuka, her catchphrase being "No one is ready for Asuka." Asuka at the end of the night admitting that Charlotte was indeed ready for Asuka.
And that was because Charlotte broke Asuka's almost 3-year undefeated streak.
Yeah. That was a long fucking time that woman went undefeated.
Yeah.
But I almost feel that that's who she, like, Asuka couldn't have lost that match to Alexa Bliss.
No.
And it wouldn't have gone over as well as it did. I think it did go over so well because Charlotte Flair is probably one of the most famous legacy wrestlers out there.
I agree. And I think the best part of that for me was the fact that she won by submission.
Right?
She applied the figure 8.
Somebody was bleeding at that point.
Yeah,
I don't know where or that blood came from, but there was blood. Both wrestlers had blood on them.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that was such a poetic way to win.
Very.
Knowing that Asuka is a submission specialist as well as a striker. And for Charlotte to win by submission, I think kind of just like stamped that win with like a cherry on top.
I was very pleased with that match, and I stood up at the end of that because I didn't see that happening. I'm definitely was a mark for that whole match. I bought into the hype. I was not ready for that outcome.
I really wasn't.
But I was very happy watching the match because it wasn't so. A lot of matches you'll see where they'll take breaks, where they'll lay there on the ground exhausted from all of the awesome backflips that they're doing and the holds, or they'll throw themselves into a lock and they'll just like it. You watch this and you know that they're just catching their breath.
Yes.
And this wasn't that. It was a very steady paced match.
It really was. So congratulations to Charlotte Flair.
Second nature, baby.
Right? Charlotte Flair, you broke the streak. You were ready for Asuka. Congratulations on a well-deserved
And her
win.
entrance was good too.
It really
Once
was.
again, WrestleMania, Asuka's fucking entrance was
With
good.
the hologram.
Yeah, dude, those fucking hologram masks. I don't know, man. That's in my top 2 matches of the night.
I agree.
For sure, Asuka
Definitely.
and Charlotte Flair. The next match of the night was the Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. title.
Yes, it was Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev for the United States Championship. That match for me wasn't very eventful. I mean, there were a couple of good moments in there, like that superplex Randy Orton did to Bobby Roode from the top rope. And then, for something as the U.S. title, I think it was very uneventful.
Super lackluster for you, huh?
Very anticlimactic.
See, and for me, I liked one of my favorite points was the fact that we got an RKO on everyone.
Yeah.
And then a huge point for me when it comes to Randy Orton is his power slam. Like him and Goldust, best power slams in the fucking business.
Absolutely.
They just look so fluid no matter where they're hitting it from, and it looks brutal.
Yeah.
They bring whoever the fuck they're doing it to the ground.
They're so swift. It's just, that's what I think a good power slam is how fast you can swing it.
It looks like it would just knock the fucking wind right out of you.
Absolutely.
The force that they bring them to their back. I gotta say, man, I picked Rusev on this one. Right. I was kind of hoping Bobby Roode was going to take it because I'm a huge mark for Bobby Roode. I'm not so much one for Rusev, but Bobby Roode definitely. And I actually owe that to you, my love of Bobby Roode, because you made me watch him when he was still in NXT.
Right.
And I thought his entrance was the most ridiculous, stupid fucking entrance ever.
And now, on you.
Yeah, now it's one of my favorite entrances. Like every time it comes on, I'm just like, glorious.
No, I won't give in.
I won't give in till I'm victorious. Yeah, huge mark for Bobby Roode. But I felt like Rusev was going to win this one.
See, I was also going for Bobby Roode, but I was hoping that Orton would defend the title.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Orton maintain it. I'll tell you what, though. I did not want to see that bitch Jinder Mahal fucking take that shit.
Yeah, see, Jinder Mahal, I'm so done with Jinder Mahal. I cannot handle him
at all.
Him in his MRSA chest.
I'm telling you, bro, someone's gonna get like the worst staph infection from this fucking guy. His chest just looks like it's a minefield of pimples. It's fucking disgusting, is what it is. He just looks like the biggest, greasiest dude too.
He does.
Probably a really nice guy because he's Canadian. But if you're, following kayfabe, he's from Punjab, India, which it's not true. I think he's from like fucking Montreal or some shit. So not a fan of fucking Jinder Mahal. I did not want him to win that fucking match. I still do not want him to hold that fucking title. They should never have given him a title in the beginning. He shouldn't have ever been Universal, or what was he, Universal or SmackDown champion?
I think he was the WWE champion.
Yeah, regardless, he was a heavyweight champion for almost like 6 months. And that whole run, I was not for. And I damn sure ain't ready for him to be the fucking U.S. champ at all.
So, fuck you, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, fuck you, Jinder Mahal. You're definitely going to be my fucking bullshit match of the night. Fuck you. Just you and your two little puppy dogs, Sunil and Samir. Like, fuck you, bro. Congratulations, I guess, but at the same time, Rusev would have been better.
Anyone would have been better.
Yeah, Nicholas from the Braun Strowman match would have been fucking better. Yeah, no. Gross. Fuck you, Jinder Mahal.
The next match we have to talk about is Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Now, this match was the match that I had been waiting for.
My favorite match of the night, too. I had two favorite matches of the evening, one of them being Charlotte and Asuka. This one, though, the Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, that whole match, from the second it fucking started, I felt like there was potential to be let down, and so I was nervous, especially with the display that we had gotten from Ronda Rousey in the previous weeks, and her technique looked really stiff.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely has a lot of work to do, but honestly, she did a lot better than I expected her to.
Oh, she did amazing.
She did great. That Hurricane Rana to Triple H was so clean, so crisp. The charging armbar is the only way that I can explain that. Stephanie was on her knees, and Ronda charged at her and in midair grabbed her by the arm and took her. And Stephanie was no slouch either.
No, Stephanie wrestled better than I thought she would.
She was very impressive. She had wherewithal, she had presence, and she worked really well.
Well, and at the same time, you have to consider that her husband is Triple H. And so I feel that for the last... Because let's be honest here, Triple H and Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon knew this match was happening for the last year at least.
Right.
So Stephanie McMahon has had a chance, because I think it was 3 WrestleManias ago where Ronda Rousey called out Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, with the help of The Rock, who they wanted to do this match with Ronda Rousey, but due to him being an actor now, his film studio didn't want him to potentially injure himself,
right?
Thus damaging any upcoming movies because that's what happened then. He had I don't necessarily know at that WrestleMania because he didn't do anything, but it was like a WrestleMania or two before he had injured his ribs and had to not do Hercules.
Oh, right.
On schedule. So I think that was the reason they didn't go there. But I'm very glad they went with Kurt Angle because I am a fucking mark for Kurt Angle.
I sure am. And to see him come back and not miss a beat.
No, his muscle memory is on point.
He really is. The triple clotheslines, the angle lock, the angle slam, all the things you come to love about Kurt Angle are phenomenal. He hasn't missed a beat.
Well, and let's face it, he won a gold medal with a broken frickin' neck. And, both him and Rousey are Olympic gold medalists. Mm-hmm. So that was a great gimmick in its own right. I'm also a mark for Triple H. That's a very unpopular opinion for a lot of people.
I'm also a mark for Triple H. Though.
But he's one of the best heels to ever do it. He's just believably a bad guy. There's no reality where Triple H is ever a face.
Absolutely.
And
it's believable.
Yeah. There's no way in hell I'd ever buy it. It's just not something I see happening. Really happy with his performance as well. I was kind of sad that we didn't see a sledgehammer come out. Being that's kind of his signature thing. He fake smacks you with a fucking sledgehammer. But I was really, really happy with this match.
So was I.
I did call the outcome. I knew that they wouldn't bring out Ronda Rousey for her debut match in the WWE and not give her the win.
Absolutely. I also called it, so I was very happy with the results of the match.
I could watch that match over and over again. That's going to be one of the best matches ever for me.
That match had us both, on our feet.
Yeah. The whole room. Yeah. We were all screaming.
There were about 8 or 9 of us, and we were just all yelling at the top of our lungs, just, my God, yes!
I felt bad for your neighbors.
Oh, yeah, our neighbors are probably really pissed at us, but it's WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's one night a year, tough it out. Because I'll tell you what, Ronda Rousey toughed it out, and she fucking won. Now, one thing I do want to bring up and state as to Stephanie's preparedness, every time that Ronda tried to get her in that armbar,
she would lock her hands.
She fucking locked her hands. And I feel like that was Triple H.
Absolutely. And that's what I was talking about when I said that she had great wherewithal. She had great presence, because she knew that the moment that Ronda was heading toward her arm, she had to lock.
Yeah, and she did, and she fucking, and it's funny because you could hear him, she was just like, no,
get off, no.
I think, and it's funny, I love that they mic the matches now because you can kind of hear the banter between the wrestlers, and when Ronda Rousey told Triple H, I'm going to go back to beating your wife's ass now.
Yeah.
I fucking lost it, dude.
I was the same way. I was like, oh.
I was like, ooh, you see what she did there, Triple H? She's really going to go fuck your wife up now. You ain't the only one that's fucking your wife tonight, bud. Ronda Rousey's going to, too. And she did. And
great.
I expected the outcome. Yeah. I expected Ronda Rousey to win it, not Kurt Angle. And I expected it to be through submission.
Right. So congratulations to Ronda Rousey.
Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
That's another cool thing, is that Roddy Piper gave her the permission to use the Rowdy name. And
his gimmick, his logo, everything.
His logo, all of it. Also, big props to the Piper family for gifting Ronda his signature leather jacket.
Yeah, that was definitely very sweet of them, and I'm sure that's a very huge moment for Ronda Rousey, being a wrestling fan, to be the owner of Roddy Piper's leather jacket. Also, her whole entrance with, wearing the kilt and the shirt that said Rowdy on it, like, she's running with it. I'm all in. I was very skeptical for Ronda Rousey coming to the WWE.
So was I. I was excited, but I was very, very skeptical.
Well, I liken it to another UFC wrestler who is a thing, and that being Brock Lesnar, who I'm very disappointed in as a wrestler. So, like, that's where my skepticism was because I don't like Brock Lesnar. He's not a fighting champion. Mm-hmm. He comes out every pay-per-view because he's a big bitch, and he can't fucking speak. He's just fuck. We'll get there. We'll get to Brock. Fuck you, Brock Lesnar. The next match.
Yeah, the next match is the triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown belt.
Now, if you caught the last episode, this was my bathroom match. So, let's just get it on the line. The Usos versus the New Day has been done way too much. And then you've got the Bludgeon Brothers, who I actually am in favor of. I'm very excited for the Bludgeon Brothers being the SmackDown Tag Champions. But this was absolutely my bathroom match. I have no frame of reference for this match because after that fucking Ronda Rousey, Triple H, Steph, Kurt Angle match, I had to, like, take
absolutely.
a moment.
Yeah, I went out to smoke, and so
smoking a pancake,
sugar in a waffle,
bong in a blend. Yeah, definitely my break match. But luckily, Eddie Lyon rewatched WrestleMania because he had to go to work immediately after WrestleMania.
Yes, I had to pull a graveyard shift. I'm actually still awake from my graveyard shift.
Eddie Lyon has made sacrifices for the corporation.
So please listen to all of our shows.
But yeah, so tell me, Eddie Lyon, what were your high points of this match? Because I have nothing.
I mean, it was really just the Bludgeon Brothers show.
Was it?
It really was.
And I kind of expected that myself. Because the Bludgeon Brothers are really this unstoppable force right now. And I don't see anyone really fucking with them right now.
No, so I mean, it was just typical Bludgeon Brothers domination type shit. And I mean, it was just uneventful for me. The Bludgeon Brothers won. They got the tag championships. Meh. It was really just one of the more uneventful matches of the night, which you get during a WrestleMania or a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think with such a stacked card too, there's going to be some disappointment there. And I'd say this WrestleMania was 50-50 for me on that one.
I agree.
14 matches, 15 matches, and half of them were good. Half of them were either mediocre or shitty. And this match just didn't grab me.
Yeah.
I'm honestly going to watch WrestleMania again later on today to have a sober point of view because I was tossing them back, boy.
Yeah, we were.
And I got to tell you, man, this one just didn't grab me. Like I said, I've already seen the Usos and the New Day go back and forth all year long. That's because honestly, on SmackDown, they're the only things worth watching in the tag division.
And I mean, they're great competitors, and when they get together, I mean, they get together.
Their Hell in a Cell match was epic.
Absolutely. I mean, they throw it down, which is why they keep getting put. But I mean, it's starting to get crazy.
Like, y'all need to fucking stop.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just a disappointing match.
I think, luckily, with Superstar Shakeup getting ready to happen, something that they do yearly between the two brands, SmackDown and Raw, where they essentially have a trade, where they bring people from one brand to the other. I think they need to do that. They need to move the Usos or the New Day over to Raw, and give them a chance to take on like the Bar. Something, because I'm fucking done with the Usos and the New Day, and I fucking love the New Day.
Yeah, me too.
Huge mark for the New Day.
I love the Usos too, though.
I liked their Polynesian gimmick more when they would come out and do the haka, and now they're like from Compton or some shit.
They're all like hood.
Yeah, like they come up, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. Like, not a fucking thing. I'm not down. I don't give a shit about your fucking privatized prison system, the Usos. So, you know, they need to figure some shit out. If you're not following the New Day or Xavier Woods on Twitter or anything, the New Day is like the nerdiest wrestling faction you'll ever see.
Absolutely.
They come out to every pay-per-view dressed as some kind of nerd shit. This year they were doing the Black Panther theme. Not for WrestleMania, but they had previously worn, like, all three of them wearing Black Panther stuff.
No, they've done Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, they just, and, like, for a while they would come out to the Yellow Brick Road, and they would fucking skip down the fucking aisle like they were, you know, from The Wiz skipping down the road. So yeah, Bludgeon Brothers, I called that match.
Yeah, me too.
Because nobody's beating the fucking Bludgeon Brothers right now.
So congrats to the Bludgeon Brothers, even though it was a disappointing match.
And the next match was a disappointing one too.
Speaking of disappointing matches.
Segue. Now, for a little backstory on this one, for the last 2 months, John Cena has been losing match after match, which is not something Superman does, and trying to get to WrestleMania as a competitor. And he's been met with great opposition this entire time. And finally, he, you know, I think like a month and a half ago, he took on the challenge of resurrecting, big air quotes, The Undertaker. The Undertaker being this mythological figure in wrestling. If you don't know wrestling, you still know who The Undertaker is.
Absolutely.
His streak, I think he went 21-0 for WrestleMania wins, where he just won every year at WrestleMania. There's no beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania. It just wouldn't happen. And then that big bitch Brock Lesnar.
Fuck you, Brock Lesnar.
Fuck you, Brock Lesnar, and fuck you, Advocate Paul Heyman, for pushing this narrative, being the wrestling god that you are. You should know that this isn't a fucking thing.
For shame.
Yeah, but yeah, the Brock Lesnar ended the Undertaker's streak a couple years back. Something I didn't want to happen. Something I just no. And then the Taker lost again the next year to
Roman Reigns.
Another person that I'm just not really into Roman Reigns.
So over both of them.
I'm tired of them jamming Roman Reigns down my throat because they want him to be the main guy that they push. So Undertaker essentially retired after Roman Reigns beat him. We didn't hear anything from him. The dude just left his shit in the ring and disappeared and walked off into the sunset.
He just took off.
Yeah, and I was okay with that. I would have hoped that the Undertaker's last match was a win, and I think that that's where my acceptance of this match came from. So Cena ended up at WrestleMania as a fan because he called out the Undertaker for a month. Fucking all over social media. He was on Twitter posting memes and GIFs. And every week he would come out on Raw and be like, Undertaker, you a bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. In so many words, he's like, where are your balls, bro?
Yeah.
Fight me.
Yeah, like, you're a bitch because you fucking took a loss and retired. Like, fuck you. I take L's and I come back because I'm a fucking fan of the business and I'm a fan of the people and I don't want to let nobody down. And that's what you're doing. You're shitting on the fans right now. Like, they even went so far as to have the Undertaker's kayfabe brother Kane come out and essentially somewhat answer the call of the Undertaker, wherein that match Cena was mocking the Undertaker the whole time doing the Undertaker's moves,
just mannerisms and his sit up and
Yeah.
all of it. For a John Cena match, it was pretty great.
and it was theatrical as fuck. And I think that's what I love about wrestling is the drama. It's like a soap opera, but instead of women just slapping each other and going, how dare you, they beat the shit out of each other and break noses and knock teeth up into faces. And so
fast forward to WrestleMania, and we don't get an Undertaker answer. So John Cena is just sitting in the audience like as a fan.
drinking a beer.
Having a beer, taking selfies with fans.
He's even telling the camera people to not put him on camera. He's like, I'm not here right now. Like, focus on the ring. That's what's going on. I'm a fan.
All of a sudden, a referee comes up to him, and
It was after the Charlotte Asuka match, too.
Yes, it was. And you don't hear what they're saying, but you can make it out. He's just like, "Are you serious? Don't play with me.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
And the ref's just like, no, like, seriously, like, they're calling for you in the back. Cena gets up, hops the barricade, and just runs up the ramp past Charlotte. And you get, like, a reaction from Charlotte and Asuka. Like, they look excited because we all were hoping that The Undertaker would answer John Cena's call out. And I think that's where the disappointment came in this match.
As John Cena heads to the ring and begins prepping himself, waiting for The Undertaker, we're waiting for the gong. And
Elias. My boy Elias. I'm a mark for Elias.
WWE stands for Walk with Elias.
For real, it does. And so Elias comes out, and Cena gets pissed off that he got called out of the crowd where he was enjoying a beer, all for Elias, and beats the shit out of Elias.
Yeah, he takes him out.
I mean, he hits him real good, and then he gets him that five knuckle shuffle on him.
Yep, he gives him the old masturbator
and beats him. And because it wasn't an official match, there was no count out or anything. He just beats his ass, and that's it. And then looks disappointed and sad face, and they play his music, and he goes walking up the ramp.
And then everything goes dark,
which is very dramatic and very into character.
And then we hear the gong.
And they put a spotlight in the middle of the ring, and there's The Undertaker's outfit right where he left it after the Roman Reigns match.
And then after that, we see lightning.
And then everything goes dark, and you start to see smoke pouring out of everywhere.
And then his clothes are gone.
And then more smoke and darkness, and then lights.
And another gong.
And there he is.
In all of his glory. Majestic.
Looking amazing.
He looked really good. That training.
He looked way better than he did last time.
Agreed.
That Roman Reigns match, he looked like shit.
He really did.
Physically, not even just like talent-wise. He just looked like an old man in a singlet and leather pants.
Like hammered shit.
So Undertaker makes his way down the ramp, and I'm hoping. I remember just calling out to you, oh God, Eddie Lyon. God, let them make this happen. Please don't make them fucking make me wait a year.
I was just there with you like, oh my God, please just do it. Just get it over with. Let's go.
Yeah, like don't make us... Because of the build-up, and we haven't had any word from Undertaker for the last year, so I was stoked to just even have him in the room. And like, I think that's where our difference come in, because you wanted like a 15-minute match at least...
I did. I wanted some exposition. We did not. We didn't get a 15-minute match. We got a 5-minute squash match.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like even for Cena, that was just terrible.
But I feel like if it's anybody that can take that L, in my opinion, it's going to be Cena. Because obviously Brock Lesnar can't be a responsible fucking wrestler.
Absolutely
and send The Undertaker off gracefully. Because I feel like if Brock Lesnar would have won that match, or lost that match to Taker... They would have sent Taker off, and that would have been it, you know? Mm-hmm. But then they had to bring him back another year and make him lose again.
Yep.
And that was his retirement match. And that wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
So I feel like they needed to send the Undertaker out on a win, and that's kind of where my acceptance for this match comes in, because I didn't want the Undertaker to go out on a loss. Honestly, he should have gone out with his fucking streak intact.
Agreed.
But that bitch Brock Lesnar...
Fuck you, Brock Lesnar.
Selfish motherfucker. Man, I'm telling you, like, as shitty as this match was to watch, as fast as it happened, I thought The Undertaker looked great. And he performed for that whole 4.5 minutes very well. But at the same time, The Undertaker's like 60 years old, man, and he's had multiple knee and hip surgeries. It probably hurts that man to wake up. To open his eyes in the morning, he probably fucking has to scream.
Well, then it's time to clock out.
And he did. And he's done. And you just have to be fucking happy. Unless they plan on, you know... Even then, don't bring him back. Please don't bring him back. I don't need 5-minute fucking Undertaker matches. Not when he's known for, like, 20-minute, half-hour matches.
No.
But I'm glad that he got his win. And I'm glad that he got sent off with a W. So
congratulations, Undertaker.
Yeah, and rest in peace, please.
Jesus, please.
Like, just take that win and move the fuck on.
Go have your life with Michelle McCool.
Yeah, right? I mean, if you got a wife that looks like that, live it, bud. Go ride your motorcycle and fucking pretend that you were never a wrestler.
Right, that's it.
So, great moment for me as far as WrestleMania moments go. Shitty fucking match. So, next match, Eddie Lyon.
Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Another match I was like way anticipating.
Oh my god. Watching Daniel Bryan come back was so fun. He had been gone for 3 years on concussion injuries, and he was finally cleared to come back. And I mean, he came back with a vengeance.
He did and he didn't at the same time.
It's true.
I thought the best meme happened like literally 2 minutes. If you're not familiar with how quick people create shit like this match was over and 2 minutes later there were memes.
Yeah.
And the best one described this match perfectly for me. Daniel Bryan came to the ring and the meme was like, Daniel Bryan's back. Oh my god, yes. And he's dead.
Yeah.
Because that's what fucking happened. Daniel Bryan came back. He got in the ring. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens did exactly what they fucking did to him the week before on SmackDown. They beat the shit out of him.
But it gave Shane O'Mac a good time to shine.
And Shane being previously injured too with diverticulitis, which is itis of the diverticuli. Me being a doctor. But it really gave Shane a chance to shine and show us that, you know what, my partner's fucking hurt. I'm here to squash my fucking beef with you, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and put on a good match. And I tell you what, man, he hit that coast to coast just like I knew he was going to. And oh my god, he was in it wasn't even like a sit down position that Sami Zayn was in.
No, he was in the Tree of Woe. And what the Tree of Woe is when your legs are entangled in the top rope and you're hanging. You're
in the turnbuckle.
You're pretty much draped over the turnbuckles. And so the coast to coast, which is one of Shane McMahon's signature moves, is he goes to the other side of the ring, gets on top of the turnbuckle while you're on that corner, and he leaps from one end of the ring.
That's a 20-foot fucking leap, man.
One end of the ring to the other and drop kicks you.
Yeah, and normally he does it when there's a garbage can in place, which gives him a little less distance to have to cover, like maybe 2 feet at best. But this one, he went full fucking coast to coast, like corner to corner, and totally laid into fucking Sami Zayn on that one. And then, you know, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come back and kind of dominate for a minute. And then out of nowhere, here comes the GOAT.
Right? See, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, as annoying as they are to me, they're no slouches. Shane was in a pinning predicament over Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens comes in, he just pops a senton right over his stomach.
Oh, it was so amazing.
But then when Daniel Bryan comes in, it's explosive from beginning to end. Like, he comes out, he gets hit with the haluva kick, he gets hit with the pop-up power bomb, and kicks out of both. Easy.
Oh my god, I miss Daniel Bryan
right?
so much.
The yes kicks.
I was gonna say, dude, don't you dare give that to the Miz.
The yes kicks.
Yeah, I was amazed with his tenacity. That fool just exploded like out from under a wet carpet. He just explode, boy.
Yep.
He was there, and he delivered for this match for me. I was kind of skeptical because of him having been gone for 3 years. I expected some ring rust, but luckily Daniel Bryan loves wrestling and knew that that's not what the fans deserved.
Nope, and he delivered. So congratulations to Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac.
And, you know, hopefully Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are done on SmackDown. I don't feel that SmackDown underutilized Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but like I said, with the Superstar shakeup coming up, hopefully they put him on Raw and give him a whole new breath of life.
I really hope that too, because they're both great performers.
I honestly want to see El Generico come to WWE.
There was actually a tweet by El Generico where he was like, "Hello, mi amigos." You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I would love to see that. I want to see them break those two up, though.
I agree. Like, they've had their run. It's time for that gimmick to die.
Yeah, I think that's a classic dynamic in the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn angle. They've been friends for, 15, 20 years, and they've gone through the indies together, and they came up together, but whenever their friendship starts to get stale, they have a fallout and it becomes a rivalry, and it's the one thing that kind of keeps their gimmick going. So I hope they split them up and we don't have Cammy as a tag team anymore, as AJ Styles would call it.
Moving on to the next match, we have Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Belt.
I called this one.
I totally called this one. And usually when I call something as far as Nia Jax is concerned, I'm always really scared because I never call it right. I'm always like, oh yeah, Nia Jax is going to take this, Nia Jax is going to win, and she never does.
Yeah.
But in this one, she actually got the belt.
Now, this is how I feel about the Nia Jax Alexa Bliss angle. I felt that Mickie James was going to be a huge factor in this match, being Alexa Bliss's bestie. Mm-hmm. And I love that Nia Jax came out and before the match even started, beat the shit out of Mickie James.
One of the craziest parts that had me like fucking shook was when she grabbed Mickie James from the hair and fucking started whipping her. On each
into
side
the barricade.
Of her.
Yeah.
She whipped her from one side to her left, to her right. But
a true testament of the strength of Nia Jax.
Yeah. I mean, and then when she alley-oops her not only onto the mat but into the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And now one thing that, like I said, I want to point out too on that one, when we say she was throwing her into the barricade, she wasn't like grabbing her and running her into it. There was fucking air here. Like, she picked this woman up
by
off
her
the ground.
head. By her head.
Yeah, and whipped her in. Like, there was at least good 1.5 to 2 feet of distance between Mickie James and the ground. Mm-hmm. And she bam-bammed her hard.
She just whipped her into those barricades.
Oh, my God.
It was amazing.
And then I had thought that the match had started. I had not expected, all of a sudden, when Nia Jax got in the ring and the bell rang, I was like, holy fuck, the match hasn't even started yet? Damn. But like I said, Mickie James is usually the deciding factor here. Alexa Bliss being a heel and a cheater, and usually winning because of breaking the rules or some kind of outside interference. And that's where this beef kind of started, was Nia Jax used to be Alexa Bliss's outside interference. Mm-hmm. Until, story-wise, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James were caught, big air quotations, in the dressing room, basically talking shit on Nia Jax, saying that,
she's big and dumb.
She's as dumb as she is big, and there was a skit a week later, or last week, where they were going on about her blubbering, and then we're like, blubber. So, as a fat kid, I took offense.
Right, same.
But at the same time, like, I understand it's all, part of story. And so I was really worried that Mickie James would be a factor in Alexa Bliss. Even though I thought that Nia Jax would win, I thought that Alexa Bliss would not have been dominated as much as she was.
Absolutely not. And so I'm happy with the result. Congratulations, Nia Jax.
Because fucking domination, dude. Like, she beat the shit out of Alexa. I've never seen Alexa Bliss take bumps like that before.
Never.
She's usually the Barbie girl, don't hit me, please don't hit me type. She can usually talk her way out of a beat down.
But she's scrappy though. Like,
yeah,
don't let her get you. But I am excited. I am super excited to see what the reign of Jax brings.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be really hard for them to take that strap from her. She's going to hold on to it, I say, for at least 6 months.
I would hope so.
If they can give it to Jinder Mahal for 6 months, they can sure as shit let fucking Nia Jax's crooked eye ass fucking keep it for 6 months.
You leave my woman alone.
I won't. She's not like most girls.
She's beautiful.
Congratulations, Nia Jax. Very happy with your win. And I only insult your crooked eye because I want you to come and beat the shit out of me one of these days. So, again, congratulations.
Next match is also another one of my favorites. Is AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Now, this was a dream match for a lot of people.
It really was.
They were in New Japan together.
Yes, New Japan Pro Wrestling 2 years ago. They squared up, and that match back then
was a 5-star match.
It was definitely a 5-star match. It was back when Shinsuke Nakamura was using the name Bomaye for the Kinshasa. The story behind that is Shinsuke Nakamura is a very big Muhammad Ali fan.
Oh, yeah.
And one of his favorite Muhammad Ali fights was Rumble in the Jungle.
So Ali Bomaye.
And which means Bomaye, which means kill him.
Uh-huh.
So that's what he called his knee. He called it the kill him. When he got to the WWE, he couldn't use it, so he called it the Kinshasa. Kinshasa being the capital of the Republic of the Congo, where Rumble in the Jungle took place.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You fact searching son of a bitch.
I love
this week. You did the research. Good call.
But I'm such a mark for Shinsuke Nakamura.
I love Shinsuke Nakamura. I feel like he's underutilized in the WWE as far as what he can do. But I called this match.
Yeah, you did. I actually went for Shinsuke Nakamura to win, and AJ Styles took the belt.
Now, at this point in the evening, everybody was kind of against me because I was still saying that I loved the Undertaker-Cena match.
Yeah.
And I stand by that. I feel like it was, like I said, I was just happy that it fucking happened. So when I said AJ Styles over Nakamura, literally everybody in the fucking room, 7 or 8 drunk dudes, were just like, whatever, Dr. Nick, you don't fucking know shit. You don't remember.
It's true. We were all drunken and we were all having fun at Dr. Nick's expense.
Dude, I'm telling you. But I think for me, I didn't... Okay, so I knew it was going to be a good match. I was hoping it would be half as good as the New Japan match, and it was better than that. Mm-hmm. And so my reasoning was this. They can't make Nakamura win in New Japan during that match and then make him do it again in WWE.
Right.
Because why would that? If you're expecting it to happen the exact way that it did, why?
Right. Not to mention that I feel like Shinsuke had home court advantage.
Yeah.
Being in Japan.
That too.
And you got to give it to AJ just because he's in the States. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not going to pander to Japan on that one. But at the same time, one thing that I loved about this match, I felt like it was kind of like Easter eggy, you know?
Yeah,
After watching the New Japan match, he had sent me the New Japan match earlier in the week to watch. And I feel like there were a lot of sequences that they brought over from that match. Mm-hmm. One of them being that hard knee to the back of AJ's head. Mm-hmm. Was something that happened. But when they did it in New Japan,
it was rough.
He knocked AJ Styles out, and then AJ Styles kind of gets up all dazed, and then he gets him again in the back of the head with the knee.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they're just gonna go, but no. Styles comes back and takes it, and this is what I love about wrestling. At the end of the match, AJ Styles wins, and Shinsuke Nakamura goes and gets the belt from the ref and gets down on one knee and hands it to AJ Styles. And I'm like, respect. He's showing respect. He's giving him love. He's fucking look at how awesome he is. Like, he's fucking losing with grace. And
then the low blow happens.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that shit.
For those of you that aren't well versed in wrestling, a low blow is when you hook your arm into the other wrestler's
vagina,
private parts.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that one. And then he continues to beat his ass afterwards, and I'm just like, no, you were honorable. Like, no.
Nakamura heel turn is probably going to be epic.
I'm okay with it. I'm excited to see where they go with him as a villain. Again, like I said, I feel like the WWE underutilizes Shinsuke, and hopefully they can either move past that or kind of make him that part-time badass.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would rather him show up literally and figuratively like once a pay-per-view as opposed to every week coming out and giving us a half-ass match. So congratulations to AJ Styles. Great match, great performance. So happy that both parties were able to just own.
Yeah.
Now let's cover the biggest disappointment of the evening.
Oh my God. The Bar versus Braun and a mystery partner.
One of the bullshit things about this for me was that they, like the Cena thing, had really played it for the last month.
Yeah, they built it up so much.
Who will be Braun Strowman's mystery partner? Braun Strowman being this fucking huge man. Just, God, like 450 pounds of destruction.
If any of you have ever seen Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme, he was Jackson. You know, that big, crazy... Hey, Frankie!
The guy from Revenge of the Nerds, Ogre.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, he's not literally that guy, but he
yeah.
might as well be that fucking dude.
That's what I meant.
And so he's actually my girl's favorite fucking wrestler, and I love that she's a mark for him. So this match built up, and they've been teasing the Big Show's return for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was really, really hoping that was how that was going to go. And it wasn't.
Nope.
Tell us, Eddie Lyon, who was Braun Strowman's mystery partner?
A member of the audience.
Not even just a member of the audience.
A child.
Like a 10-year-old child.
By the name of Nicholas.
Who is a Make-A-Wish kid. The WWE is a huge contributor to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I didn't need this.
Yeah, I mean, that's all well and cool, or whatever, and, I mean, of course, Braun Strowman won by himself, didn't need to tag the kid in, tagged him in, kid went out for like 2 seconds, came back and tagged him in with no action in it.
Yeah, and I think the gimmick here was that Braun Strowman could easily take the bar. The bar being Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yes, who were the current champions.
Yeah, and that's where my other gripe comes in, Eddie Lyon, is how is Nicholas gonna defend this fucking tag team? The kid's fucking dying, obviously.
Yeah.
No offense, like I'm not trying to be a dick to a dying kid, but fuck you, WWE, for thinking that any of that was okay.
Right? Just bring out the Big Show, let the two phenoms dominate the tag division for a minute.
And then walk off with the fucking titles. Because they're the biggest fucking dudes around. And to be quite honest, I would have loved to have seen the Big Show and Strowman as a tag team take on the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Not, necessarily anytime soon, but maybe for like Survivor Series or something.
Let's hope.
But god damn it, man. I mean, maybe we'll look out and, tonight on Raw, they'll have Strowman come out and he'll be like, in all seriousness, I do need a tag team partner. And then we'll hear, well, and the Big Show will come out and we'll get, the WWE will take themselves seriously again.
We'll have the Braun Show.
But obviously, very obviously, Braun Strowman dominated that match. There were a couple moments when Sheamus and Cesaro came back with a little bit of a
resistance.
Yeah, but we knew that Strowman was going to win that match. There's no way in hell those two dudes could beat Braun Strowman. It would be very difficult for a man of comparable size to beat Braun Strowman. He is a vicious fucking player.
Absolutely.
But I guess congratulations to Strowman and Nicholas. I'm glad that this little boy got his dream match that could have happened at any other fucking pay-per-view or event that wasn't WrestleMania.
That boy's going to get his first handy.
Yeah, I imagine that Nicholas went backstage and Alexa Bliss just fell all over him.
I get it, because Alexa Bliss is a help for NXT people.
Yeah, she is. So, congratulations, I guess. Very, very big letdown of a match. Like I said, this WrestleMania was kind of 50-50 for me. It was either really good or it was meh.
And speaking of meh, on to the main event of the evening.
The meh event of the evening.
I see what you did there.
God damn it, Eddie Lyon.
Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal title.
Yeah, I wasn't hyped for this match to begin with.
Not at all. Not even a little.
Like we discussed earlier, I'm not a huge Roman Reigns mark. Only because I feel like I keep saying the corporation, I feel like I'm going to confuse people.
The authority.
The powers that be have been shoving Roman Reigns down our throat for years because they want him to be the main man. For those that don't know, the main guy is who the WWE decides is going to be the top star, the face of the company.
The Hulk Hogan, the John Cena,
yeah,
the Stone Cold,
The Rock. And so they've been really pushing that narrative, and the WWE Universe is not happy with it. Most of us are just fucking tired of it. Had this match turned out the way I wanted it to, I would have been okay. Like
absolutely.
I called Roman Reigns for the win, and that's, Brock Lesnar's fucking contract was up after Mania. Literally yesterday was the last day for his contract, but he fell into some legal trouble with the UFC. They got him for growth hormones, and so he's suspended for around 6 months or so from fighting in the UFC, which was where he was already going to go. He had posted pictures with Dana White, the owner of UFC, and so that's where we kind of expected this to go, was him passing the torch on to Roman Reigns.
Just giving him the belt. But no. Brock Lesnar does whatever the fuck Brock Lesnar wants to do.
Bullshit fucking. It's stupid. Brock Lesnar is so over with Vince McMahon, Vince being a body guy, and according to Vince, has sacrificed so much for this company. My fucking ass. He gets a fucking private jet. He fucking doesn't have to perform weekly. He shows up at pay-per-views. He fucking wins, and that's the end of it.
Yep.
Like, he hasn't sacrificed shit. Oh, he married Sable? Oh, poor dude. He's fucking a big-titted blonde in Minnesota. You know, like, his most of his time is spent at home.
Mm-hmm.
And these other wrestlers are on the road 363 days a year, nightly fucking putting their lives on the line and their bodies.
Yep.
And this asshole shows up once a month, if that.
Yep.
And fuck you, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, this match was seriously anticlimactic, lackluster to say the best.
I mean, I would even go so far as to say that it was just the worst match of the night.
I would agree.
It was worse than the Cena Undertaker match. For me.
I would actually agree with you.
Well, and the reason we say that Lesnar does what he wants is there's a recent rumor that's been going around that was actually started by Paul Heyman, his manager, where Heyman said that what if at the WrestleMania that Lesnar beat the Undertaker was scheduled to win and continue on with the streak, and what if Brock Lesnar decided, nope, I'm just going to concuss the shit out of him and then beat him and tell him fuck you. And honestly, knowing the backstory of Brock Lesnar and who he is as a person is very plausible.
I wouldn't put it past him.
At all. Lesnar seems to me like one of those dudes that does what he wants, and you're not going to tell him otherwise because he's the face of the company.
Yeah, he pulls in all the money, so
why would he do what you tell him to do?
it's ridiculous.
The guy can't even fucking speak, let alone think for himself, so why the fuck is he doing this shit?
It's ridiculous.
So I feel because of his issues, the guy's juiced up to his fucking eyeballs. Due to his issues with not being able to go immediately to UFC, he just decided, I'm winning this match, and I'm going to stay the WWE champion, and I'm not going anywhere until I can leave it for the UFC.
He'll probably extend his contract, and
yeah,
and then we'll see more Brock Lesnar.
And honestly, no. Please don't extend. If he's gonna fucking win, fine. But I hope to God tonight on Raw they have him just relinquish the title and move the fuck on.
Please.
Huge upset. Hopefully the WWE is reading Twitter and how many fucking people they've pissed off today. Because there are a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, there are.
There is a point in this match, though, where I actually felt concerned for Roman Reigns' safety. Not because he was getting his ass beat, but because he was gushing fucking blood.
It was streaming.
Yeah. Like a drinking fountain out of his face. And a lot of people felt that he bladed, but if you watch the match, that's not the fucking case.
Yeah, Lesnar drops this enormous elbow.
Well, and there's points when he's punching him, and you can see him kind of pulling the hair back, and he's trying to split him open. And that's when he hits him with that elbow. He still has his hair pulled back and comes down with his bony ass Popeye elbow, and that's when the fucking blood just—it's like an Evil Dead movie, and god damn it, fucking shit, Eddie Lyons.
Yeah, it was devastating to say the least.
I was very disappointed in the WWE for allowing that to happen. I'm still very disappointed with them, and god damn it, Vince, get the fuck out of the driver's seat.
Please let Triple H handle it from now on.
You're done, man. You have no frame of reference as to what the universe wants to see. You're killing my love of wrestling. Don't you see? You're tearing us apart.
All in all, WrestleMania for me, 8 out of 10.
And you're being generous. Mine is a 7 out of 10, and that's with the pregame show.
Oof. I was entertained for most of WrestleMania.
I was up to a point.
See, and so, I mean, there were only 3 matches where I was just like, meh. And the rest of the card was awfully entertaining.
Yeah, I got to disagree with you on that one. I would say 4 to 5 matches for me were meh. And that's, like I said, including the pre-show.
Right. Well, if we include the pre-show, then yeah, 4 or 5 matches.
I honestly, man, that main event killed the whole event for me. I went to bed not happy with what had happened.
Yeah.
I was very frustrated, and I just didn't want to see Lesnar take that W. I wanted to see him fucking lose, and regardless if it was to that bitch Roman Reigns, I just did not want to see Lesnar carry on, and he did, and I wasn't happy, and I'm not happy, and they better fucking rectify this scenario. Because fuck, man, I'm not, and I agree with, we follow Wrestle Talk on YouTube, and I read a post before we started recording from one of their co-hosts, Luke Owen, where he said, maybe not the best WrestleMania, but by far not the worst WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
And I agree with that statement. It wasn't the worst WrestleMania ever, but it sure as fuck wasn't even in the best category. It leveled out in meh.
Yeah.
I mean, the highlight of the night was Ronda Rousey.
And Daniel Bryan.
And, yeah, and those are the top 3 matches. Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, Asuka Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, Triple H, Kurt Angle, Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And everything else was just kind of like cannon fodder. Like, it was just, they're shooting at us.
Yeah.
But those ones, they all hit. All 3 of those matches. And congratulations to everybody that won, and to everybody that got the titles that they were going for. Even you, Jinder Mahal, you fucking greasy, dirty son of a bitch.
Piece of shit.
Except for Brock Lesnar. Fuck you, Brock Lesnar.
Fuck you,
You
Brock
don't deserve
Lesnar.
that championship. You don't deserve the fucking push that you get, and you don't deserve any of the fucking perks that you have because of it. And on that note, if you would like to follow us and comment and give us your opinions as to the outcome of WrestleMania,
you can hit us up on all social medias at Nerdcorp Podcast. You can email us at nerdcorppodcast@gmail.com and search us on Facebook at the Nerd Corporation.
Now, for those of you wanting to expand their journey into the multiverse and all things timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, please follow our Patreon at patreon.com/nerdcorppodcast. We have lots of tiers with rewards, shout-outs, ringtones, giveaways, and you can even gain access to our bonus episode. This month's bonus theme being
Fandom versus Fandom.
In a world where Star Trek and Star Wars fans hate each other,
2 men will play battle shots to determine the ultimate winner.
I feel like our hoarse voices from yelling at WrestleMania made that a lot better.
Right? Eddie Lyon, Dr. Nick, Star Wars versus Star Trek, Battle Shots Edition.
Fucking gimme. I'm already sold. Whoever that masked man was that just came in and did that shit, absolutely, totally fucking into it. I'm excited as shit. I'm taking over the Star Trek end. Eddie Lyon is representing the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, I am.
We called an expert on ships that he could use, and we didn't need that expert because they decided to give us battle specs, everything they needed to do. Appreciate all of the work. I just needed to know X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Falcon, Outrider, whatever. Unfortunately, we got, are you looking for planetary or space? And I'm like, well, obviously space, because the Enterprise isn't a planetary fucking battleship here. Jesus. Very excited for this bonus podcast, which will air a week from when this episode drops. So that's 2 weeks in a row you get 2 episodes of the Nerd Corporation. Remember, you can access that bonus episode if you donate $10 or more at patreon.com/nerdcorppodcast.
And not only will you get the bonus episode, but you'll also get us in a monthly shout-out video. You'll get your name in our thank you section. Go check out the Patreon. And if you pay the top tier, you get all the other tiers with it.
Yeah, I'd say for $10 that's not bad for extra content.
I agree.
For the Nerd Corporation, thank you for coming in. We apologize that we couldn't get to our guest this week.
Patton Oswalt is a trooper, and we'll get you on next time.
We appreciate you sitting in the green room for this entire time. Once again, I'm Dr. Nick.
And my name is Eddie Lyon.
And thank you from the Nerd Corporation.